This year's presidential inauguration is expected to cost less than former President Jacob Zuma's in 2014, but it still comes at a hefty price. The presidency says the budget was cut due to the current economic climate. eNCA's Maloko Moloto has more on the story. He joins us now in studio. They've cut the budget, but it's still a lot of money.
So, Shahan, government every now and then tells us that we need to tighten the belt. And, of course, this year, the minister was saying that the president-elect, whoever is going to be elected by parliament on Wednesday next week, will be inaugurated at Loftus Versfeld Stadium. And in 2014, when the former President Jacob Zuma was inaugurated, government spent around 240 million rand. And this year they are saying they are going to save as much as 100 million rand when the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, presumably gets to be inaugurated. Now, the question, therefore, is that if indeed they acknowledge the economic difficulties that we are facing, why are they not just after electing the President, he's sworn in, and we continue? The minister was saying that is the debate that perhaps South Africans should engage in. But on Saturday, the 25th, this particular inauguration is continuing. And let's just take a listen at what the minister said.
In terms of what is constraining us, we all know that there is an economic difficulty in this country, and our budget that we are going to spend in this inauguration is more than 100 million less than the previous one. So that's a huge difference between the last inauguration and this one. It's going to be more than 100 million less. So that's the constraint. It's a constraint that everybody knows. So we had to ensure that we don't spend as much as we did in the last inauguration or more, even taking into account inflation and everything.
It's still a lot of money. I mean, roughly about 140 million or more or less, just a little bit. But 140 million for one day. Imagine the number of houses government could have built with that.
Well, Shahan, interestingly, the minister was not able to commit as to exactly how much they will spend, going on to say that you don't know until the event is held whether you will spend 100 or 20 or 500 rand or so. So it should not surprise South Africans should the money goes even higher, despite the promises that they will save over 100 million rand after the event.
I'm trying to work it out on my calculator, Maloko, bear with me. Yeah, they could have built a 1.2 million RDP houses. It comes in at 110,000. I might be wrong, I'm very bad at math, but anyway, that's the point. They could have built homes with that money. 10,000 walk-ins will be allowed. They must be accredited between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. on the day. We talk about people being allowed and given access to this, being included. How is that going to work with such a short period of time and so few people walking in?
So in total, there's going to be about 32,000 people who will be part of the event in the stadium. This would be your invited guests, dignitaries, and they said they are only inviting head of states from the SADC region. Of course, you will have MPs, you will have premiers, as well as people from the business and traditional leadership communities. And about 22,000 people will be bused from the neighboring provinces of Limpopo, Mpumalanga, the Free State, as well as the Northwest, ordinary South Africans who will be allowed to be part of that. So they will be catered for. There's also going to be 10,000 people who would be allowed to walk in, presumably people from around Gauteng. Now, the trick is that as much as they say it's ordinary South Africans, the difficulty is that accreditation must happen between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. on the day of the event, which means that if you don't have transport and you are staying somewhere in Winterveld or in Hammanskraal, you will not be able to be there by that time. It will still not include ordinary people in the streets who would want to be part of it. It's only the elite, people who have cars, who will be able to go
Yeah.
in.
Never mind the 10 million or so voters who voted for the ANC. It's ridiculous. Thanks so much for that. Appreciate it. Maloko Maloto.